Hey guys, it's DJ. Welcome back. So I received a member question about whether or not a new person should be joining platforms like Voice123, Voices.com, Fiverr, Upwork, these types of platforms, right? And this is an interesting question because there's no one way to answer it. When I got started, it was, like I said, a completely different time. And I always hesitate to refer to my own experience because back then, like, it didn't matter. You can be on any platform and you would work, you would eat. But in we'll say 2026 now, because we only got like a month and a half left of 2025, the platforms are not what they used to be. And not only that, they're very saturated. I've said this before. I'm just repeating myself now. But you have to be good to do well on these platforms. And when I mean do well is Voice123 and Voices.com, they operate a bit differently. I'm more familiar with Voice123. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because Voices.com, it's really not my jazz. Voice123 though, you have to be very, very good at auditioning, because you need to make sure that out of all the auditions you do, at least 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 20 is getting shortlisted. But you gotta. I always focus on that 1 out of 10 should get a shortlist, and better if you can. And the reason why is because on Voice123, you have what's called a success score. Oh, it's not a success score, that's the name of it. I need to be more clear about what I'm saying here. If I go to my profile and I go to the stats, you can see there, this top 10% of voice actors. This is an important metric, a really, really important metric, because that's what determines whether or not you get ranked. That's what determines whether or not Voice123 is going to be sending you auditions early. And you always want to receive the auditions early on Voice123, because sometimes clients just find the voice they want and they close the casting. It's happened many times to me. While I receive an audition like when there's 20. When they want 50 auditions, I receive when there's like 20, 25 in there already. I get in there to do the audition. By the time I record my audition and export it and get ready to upload, the audition's already closed. Like, sometimes it happens. So that's one thing. You want to make sure you're in one of the first ones to receive it. But even if you are one of the first ones to receive it, if you don't get shortlisted, this ranking will drop. All right, I've been in the top 20%, I've been in the top 50%, and even lower at different stages of my career. I've been top 10% for over, I think it's almost 2 years now. And it makes a difference. It does. For example, this one just came in 10 minutes ago, and you can see there's already 10 people that have auditioned for it. All right, now let's talk about how this number works here in the invitations. I am in this group here, invitation group 2. All right, and this is invitation group 1. These are the first people to receive the audition. So you have the top tier players, I call it players, top tier members. It's not necessarily based on performance, it's based on their membership level. This is like, they used to be platinum, and now I think it's called elite. So they're gonna get it first, always, okay? And even within this group here, there's a ranking system. Like I said, you don't have to be great to be here. You just need to pay the money if they have the slot open. And so it says top 10% to top 30% of these members here receive this first, that cohort, including 19 pro members, which is my level. They got the top 10% of these actors here. But even in the 10%, the top 10%, there's a ranking, right? Because they could be 500 people in top 10%. Where is your position in that 500? It matters, because here you can see that even though I'm in the top 10%, I'm in invitation group 2. So I received it after them. And because I received it 10 minutes ago, 42 plus 19, you got these people here that have already beat me to the audition. So going back to what I was saying, for you trying to decide what platforms to work on, Voice123 is a great platform if you are great at auditioning. If you're not that good at auditioning, I would suggest, I haven't tried it personally, but it's something I think would work, is I would suggest making a burner account, something that you're not going to stick with, and use that to practice with. Maybe get one of the low paying memberships, like the low cost memberships. Maybe, I think it's like what, $199, I think is one of the membership levels. Where is it here? Come on. Okay, you're not going to show me the individual member tiers, I suppose, right? Oh, here we go. Yeah, this one right here. I would try something like that. Throw a little bit of money if you can. If you can't throw money at it, you can go free, but you're not going to be, look at that, 70,000 people in this This group here, that's a lot of people. You really think you're going to get some auditions there? So you want to at least minimize how many people are going to be receiving auditions with you. I can't say that, like I said, there's no one answer here. It's very nuanced because there's so many things that go on behind the scenes that if you're not familiar with how Voice 123 works, you could easily lose money. And if you use an account that's a primary account and you end up tanking your ranking to where you're, top 50% or bottom 90%, Lord forbid, what do? If that's your main account, now you're screwed. Now you have to climb a mountain to get back up to the top. So that's why I think a burner account might be worth using. Use a stage name, all right? And then after you've gotten practice, you start seeing, okay, I'm doing pretty well. I've booked something or I'm getting shortlisted. And then after you really feel like you validated your skill, close that account, open a new Voice 123 account, and then start that way, okay? Because it takes a lot to get your ranking back up once it's dropped. Now, I already made a video about Fiverr and my thoughts on it, so you guys should know if you've seen it that I don't have any problems with Fiverr. I think Fiverr is a great place for voice actors of all levels because it's not just US-based clients that are on Fiverr. It's a global market. And so the majority of jobs that I get on Fiverr are from international clients. And for people that come from international or from domestic jobs from the United States, much of it is going to be corporate narration or e-learning, maybe characters as well. But a lot of e-learning comes through Fiverr. And this is a great opportunity to put yourself in a position to compete for stuff where people are probably looking for lower prices. If you're just starting out, who cares if you're charging $20, $5, $10? I did it. And I'm not saying that, you should be undercutting people, but if we're being real here and you're trying to run a business's job is to make money. If $10 per 100 words is sustainable for you, then you fucking do $10 for 100 words. You know what I'm saying? Don't let anybody make you feel bad for charging low rates on Fiverr. That's not to say you have to charge low rates. Just if that's what you need to do to get people interested in purchasing your voice, do what you gotta do, eat shit for a little while until you get those credits under your belt, because it's all about the credits, right? You need the credits. The credits are the clients you've booked for, all right? I had low rates on Fiverr probably until I had over 700 something credits, 700 something jobs completed. I was, the highest I charged was 65 base rate, all right? And a lot of those jobs ended up being 125, 165, $200. But I did it because it allowed me to get the reps on my DAW, edit my audio, get my workflow down, build my hotkeys, learn how to communicate with clients, and learn how to, record and how to do all the stuff that comes along with it. So back to the original question, if you're starting out and you have your demo, DIY demo, is it okay to be on Fiverr or Upwork or Voice123 or Voice.com? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Go to Voice Bunny, go to Voice Jungle, Voice Realm, Voquent, VO Planet, anywhere you can put your voice. Put it there. Because the more irons you have in a fire, or the more lines you have in the water, the higher probability that somebody's going to bite, okay? Especially if your DIY demo is very good, like the person who asked this question, his DIY demo is excellent. It's excellent. And so I think it's, you should definitely be putting yourself out there. So hopefully that answers your question. Like I said, I'm very open about this stuff, guys, because I've been where you are, okay? And so, maybe people don't agree with the way I see things, but at the end of the day, those people don't run my business. I run my business. So get out there, get the work, get those reps, get your skill up, and then a year or two from now, when you're trying to reach out to agents and stuff, you have something to show them. Yeah, I booked 100 jobs last year. They ain't gonna ask you where you booked them at. They may ask, where do you get the most of your work from? That might be a question that comes up. You tell them straight up, I got it from Fiverr, or I got it from Voice123, whatever. Just be real. But what are you gonna say? Oh, you got those jobs in Fiverr. That's not real jobs. No, those motherfuckers paid me money. Those are real jobs, okay? Pardon me, French. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all, okay? Anyways, hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video.